the radius of the red circle and yellow circle. So this triangle, as we see here, all the sides are equal. It means it's an equilateral triangle. And we want to find the radius of the red circle and yellow circle. So let's make a little better picture here. And as we see here, the altitude is from this position, from the base to the highest point, V. And we want to find this h. First of all, we need to find the h, and we need to find then the center here. So, but first of all, let's find the h. To find the h here, we need, we are using the Pythagorean theorem. And here s is s squared. S is already the hypotenuse. And one of the legs of the triangle here is, because all this the base is the s, then half of the base here is s over 2. And now s squared, the hypotenuse is equal to the s over 2. So is s over 2 squared is a plus h. And we needed to find this h squared. And now here, if we are finding the h, we are subtracting by minus s over 2 squared everything, and it's going to be s squared. And minus, here is the minus, and s squared over 2 squared, which is 4 over 4. And now this is equal to the h squared. And here we find the LCD for both of them, and to find the LCD is very easy. Here is a 4 times 4. So now we are making a like fraction, and we can find the h is equal with the LCD is a 4. It is s squared, and 4s squared minus s squared is a 3s squared. 3s squared. And now we are taking the square root of both sides. So h, even though it has 2 roots, but we are taking just positive root of the h, and is going to be equal to the square root of 3 divided by 4. Square root of 4 is 2, and square root of s is just s. Square root of s squared is a s. So we found the h. So this is very important for us to know. Just let me make here to underline a little bit, so when I'm looking for this number here, I can find here. So this h I can find here. And now what I am looking here to find, according to the centroid here, c, the distance from the base to here is 1 over 3. 1 over 3 of h, of a whole distance h here. And so the radius for the red circle we can find, because from this position to this position is 1 over 3 h. So 1 over 3 h is the radius, is equal to the radius. So we already found the radius. So what it means is the radius of h, let me write here, the radius of the h is equal with 1 over 3rd. So just let me write the radius here, it's not h, I'm sorry. So the radius r is equal with 1 over 3rd times square root of 3 divided by 2, square root of 3 divided by 2s. So we found the red for the red circle, and just let me write the finally here, the radius r is equal, and I'm multiplying here square root of 3 divided by 6, square root of 3 divided by 6 s. So this is radius for the red circle. But for the yellow circle, and if we are looking here now, we can make one a small triangle on the top where is the yellow circle. And if we are looking now this angle here, this angle here and this angle here are going to be same because those are a corresponding angle, and because here this line is the same, it means, and here is this horizontal line is a parallel with the base here. So according to the corresponding angle, this angle and the angle on the left side of the triangle are the same. And if you are looking on the top here, for both angles, for the small triangle and for big triangle, the angle is the same. And if you look, the same thing is in the right side of the small triangle and the right side of the big triangle, the angles are, according to the corresponding angles, are the same. So the small triangle here and the big triangle, they have the same angles, and according to the postulate of the same triangle, these triangles are similar, and if they have the same angle, because this is a 60 degree and the small triangle has a 60 degree, all the three angles, it means this is an equilateral triangle too. So according to the same logic, so the distance now is from this position to here is 1/3 of the whole position of the altitude of the small triangle. So what's going to happen here? But we already know, according to centroid, and because the radius is 1/3 of h here, so it means the radius here is going to be, this is the radius too. This is going to be 1/3 of h. So 2/3 of h is going to be the diameter of the circle. And this distance from this position here, let me take a different color. From this position here, the h, to this position here, now this is small, let's say, let me write the h prime, or is 1/3 of the h. Is 1/3 of the h. So this altitude. Let me write the small altitude of the small triangle, AS. The altitude of the small triangle AS is equal with 1/3 h. But now if we want to find let me write here in this. So the 1/3 of the small triangle, it means h is equal with the altitude of the small triangle. Let me write here AS. And now already 1/3 of the h, but h we know h was square root of 3 divided by 2s. So, but 1/3 is a whole thing. But just this thing here is 1/3. So this distance here, the radius, the yellow radius, now the radius of yellow circle is 1/3 of the small altitude, of the small triangle. But altitude of the small triangle is equal with 1/3 of h. Here is 1/3 time 1/3 of h. And we already know the h is a square root of 3 divided by 2. So let me write here R yellow. So R yellow, the radius of the yellow circle is equal with, we multiply everything, 1/9, 3 times 3 is a 9, 1/9, and the h is the square root of 3 divided by 2. Square root of 3 divided by 2. S, the side S. And when we are multiplying, the radius of the yellow triangle is equal with the square root of 3 divided by 18 times the side S. So we already have, this is for the yellow triangle, the radius for the yellow triangle, and the red one is the square root of 3 divided by 6 S.